All right, we're going to be covering Chapter 6, Lesson 2. So that's 6.2, Numerical Expressions, beginning on page 441. So please make sure you're open up to page 441. It should look like this. All right, our first example, we've got a real-world link, and it says that the table shows the cost of different snacks at a concession stand at the school hockey game. And so looking at the table, I see that it says popcorn, and the price is $2. Juice or soda is $1, and hot dog is $4. Make sure you're looking at your table to see what the things are. So price are each of these. It's not 2 popcorns, 1 soda, and 4 hot dogs. It's $2 for popcorn, $1 for juice or soda, and $4 for a hot dog. So if they're showing you a picture that has 1, 2, 3 popcorns in it, how much would that cost? 1, 2, 3, 4 hot dogs, how much would that cost? And so I would like for you to go ahead and pause and answer 1 through 4 on your own, and when you come back, the answer will be there. Pause now. All right, so the answer for number 1 is $6. If each popcorn is $2 each and there's 3 popcorns, you can either solve this by multiplying 3 times $2, or you can add 2 plus 2 plus 2. Either way, you're getting $6. For the hot dogs, they're $4 each. There's 4 of them. So if you did 4 times 4, it's 16. Or if you did 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, you're going to still get 16. For finding the total cost of buying 3 boxes of popcorn and 4 hot dogs, I went ahead and set up an equation where I am multiplying 3 times $2 to represent the popcorn, and then 4 times $4 to represent the hot dogs. And then if I add those two together, my 6 plus my 16, it's going to be a total of $22. It asked in number 4 what operations could you use in exercises 1 through 2. And you could either use multiplication or addition. And then whenever you're solving for number 3, I used actually both multiplication and addition because I multiplied the 2 separate and then added them together. So the order of operations, you might remember that as PEMDAS. So let's go ahead and right next to this, let's write PEMDAS. That's please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses, the E for exponents, the M and the D are for multiplication and division, and then the A and the S are for addition and subtraction. And I like to go ahead and insert a little slash between them so that I can recognize that the multiplication and division go together and the addition and subtraction go together. So go ahead and copy that. The order of operations, it says number 1, simplify the expressions using grouping symbols like parentheses. And then find the value of all powers, which are our exponents. And then multiply and divide in order from left to right. Now this is really important. Multiply and divide in order from left to right. And then add and subtract in order from left to right. So that doesn't always mean that multiplication is going to come before division. If it's a division problem first and then multiplication, you're going to do division and then multiplication because they're interchangeable. Multiply and divide and add and subtract. Those are each interchangeable. So you're going to go from left to right. Now a numerical expression like 3 times 2 plus 4 times 4 is a combination of numbers and operations. You'll see we have multiplication, we have addition, and we again have multiplication. So if we're solving this out, we can use the order of operations to tell us which one goes first. So the order of operations tells you which operation to perform first so that everyone finds the same value for the expression. And that's really the key here, is that if you're doing the multiplication first and then adding the 2 together, you're going to get the $22. If somebody else decides, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and do 3 times 2, which is 6, and then plus 4, which is 10, and then times 4, which is 40, obviously this is not the same amount as the $22 that you're actually going to pay. So it's really important that you understand the order of operations so that you are not, so that everybody is getting the same answer, which should be $22. And I think that example that we used before with the pictures is very clear that you're spending $22. So it's really important that we do the order of operations. And that's why they're there, so that we all get the same answer. Yes, you can get an answer, but if it's not the same, it's not going to work. For example number 1, it says find the value of each expression, and they give us 10 minus 2 plus 8. So there's no grouping symbols, so there's none of the p. There's no exponents or powers. There's no multiplication or division, but there is addition and subtraction. So remember that it says to add and subtract in order from left to right, just like you're reading a sentence, okay? So that means that the first part we're going to do is 10 minus 2. 10 minus 2 is going to be 8. Then we're going to add the 8 and get 16. If you add first and you get 2 plus 8, that's 10, it'll be 10 minus 10, which is 0. That's not the same answer, is it? So it's really important that you understand that we work in order from left to right when we have addition and subtraction in the same equation, because we all want to get the same answer of 16. Example number 2 says 4 plus 3 times 5. Again, order of operations, we're looking through PEMDAS, and I think it's really helpful to keep writing PEMDAS and just kind of doing it like it's a checklist. Like, which one do we have first? Okay, there's no parentheses, there's no exponents. Multiplication and division, yep, we've got that. So we're going to start there. So we're going to start with 3 times 5 and get 15. Don't forget that we still have to add in the 4. And so now that we're done with this, we don't have any division, we have addition and subtraction, and sure enough, we have our addition problem here. So you're going to do 4 plus 15, which is 19. If you did 4 plus 3 first, that would be 7. 7 times 5 would be 35. Again, you're not getting the same answer as us. So mathematicians came up with the order of operations to make sure that we all get the same answer, because it's not your decision. You don't get to choose which one you want to do first. We all need to get the same answer. And so they came up with the order of operations so that we all get the same answer. So I'd like for you to do A and B on your own. Go ahead and pause now. When you come back, I'll have the answer. Okay, so A, we get the answer of 40, and B, we get the answer of 32. For A, we were supposed to multiply first, and then add in the 10. And for B, we were supposed to do our division first, and then our multiplication. Notice that I use my PEMDAS in both cases here to show my work to make sure that I'm covering all my bases. And when I came to multiplication and division, I had both of them. And from what we already said, we go from left to right, like we're reading a sentence from left to right. So division is first, and then multiplication, and that's still okay. So please make sure that you are doing the order of operations correctly. All right, parentheses and exponents. Expressions inside grouping symbols, such as parentheses, are simplified first. Follow the order of operations inside the parentheses. For example, if the expression is 3 plus 4 squared plus 5 in parentheses, you will need to find the value of the power of 4 squared before you can add the expression inside the parentheses. So it's almost like when you see parentheses, you're starting over, okay? You're doing, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, inside the parentheses, and then working your way outside and do another please excuse my dear Aunt Sally outside of the parentheses. So it's really important that you understand that what goes inside the parentheses also is applied with the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And in this case, our exponent will go before our addition. So we would do 4 times 4 plus 5. All right, so here's example number 3. Find the value of each expression. 20 divided by 4 plus 17 times, and in parentheses, 9 minus 6. So, of course, again, I'm going to write down, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, PEMDAS. And I'm going to go through it. And the first thing I come to is my parentheses. So I'm going to take care of my parentheses first. So I'm going to do 9 minus 6 is 3. And then I'm just going to drop everything else down. Okay, that kind of got sloppy. Sorry about that. So now we're going to keep moving along. Do we have any exponents? Nope, no exponents. Do we have any multiplication and division? So yes, we have multiplication and division. We have division here, and we have multiplication here. And remember that we're working from left to right. So I'm going to start by doing my division of 20 divided by 4, which is 5. and then carry everything else down. Now I'm going to do my multiplication of 17 times 3, which is, carry the 2, okay, 51. And now all I'm left with is addition. So I'm going to take care of my addition, and I get 56 for my answer. So do you see the steps that we went through? We did our parentheses. There were no exponents. We did our multiplication and our division from left to right. So we started here, and then we went on to this, and then we added them together. Example number 4 is 3 times 6 squared plus 4. And in this case, again, notice that I'm going to keep writing. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, just to make sure that we are always getting it done. So in this example, there's no parentheses, but there are exponents. So let's take care of our exponent first. 6 squared, you have to remember, is not 6 times 2, it's 6 times 6. So we're going to do 6 times 6, which is 36, and then I'm just going to drop everything else back in. Now, again, we're done with that. We have to look at multiplying and dividing. And sure enough, I have a multiplication problem right here. So we do 3 times 36, which is 108, and we bring down the plus 4. Now that I'm done with my multiplication and division, I've got my add and subtract. And that's the last thing that we have to do. So we get 112 as our answer. Number 5, we're going to fill in the blank. So looking at this, we've got 5 plus, and in parentheses, 8 squared minus 2, and parentheses, and then times 2. So I want you to go ahead and fill in the blanks here, and when you come back, I'll have the answers pre-filled. So you can pause now. So our final answer is 129. So we had to do our 8 squared, which is 8 times 8, which is 64. Then, still inside parentheses, we need to do 64 minus 2, which is 62. Then we need to move on and do our multiplication before our addition. And so that's 124, and then we're going to add 5 to it. So 129. Hopefully you all came up with the same answer. Alright, so why is it important to have the order of operations? I want you to stop and think about that for a second. Why is it important to have the order of operations? Pause the video and write down your answer. Hopefully by now, with all the different examples and the way that I've approached it, I hope that you see that the reason that there's an order of operations because we all need to have the same answer. I wasn't paying $40 for that popcorn and hot dog set. I was paying $22, right? Is that how much it was? I don't remember anymore. So, yeah, $22. So, it's important. Otherwise, you're spending $40 instead of $22, and that doesn't make any sense. All right, now I'd like for you to pause the video and answer for C and D, and when you come back, I'll have your answers ready. Go ahead and pause. All right, go ahead and, if you need to, pause the video now and check to see what my steps were that I did. I went ahead and for the first one, I did my parentheses, which was my 5 minus 2, so I got my 3 here. Then I dropped everything down. It was 25 times 3 divided by 5 minus 12. Then I moved on to exponents, and I didn't have any, and so I crossed that out. I went to multiplication and division, and first off, I have 25 times 3, which is 75. Then when I dropped everything down, I had 75 divided by 5, which is 15. And then I dropped down my minus 12, and I did my subtraction, which would be 3 is my final answer. For D, I had 24 divided by, and the first thing I had to do inside my parentheses was exponents, because remember, once I'm inside parentheses, I do my PEMDAS all over again. And so I did 2 times 2 times 2, which was 8. 8 plus 4, which was 12. Let me fix that. Hold on a second. I wonder if any of you caught that I did that incorrectly. So I was wrong. So it's going to be divided by 12, and the answer is 2. So if you had an answer of 2, then you are correct. I'm sorry about that. I was subtracting instead of adding. So obviously, mistakes like that, we're going to get different answers. So the answer for C is 3, and the answer for D is 2. Example number 6 says, write an expression for the total cost of 5 lotions, 2 candles, and 4 lip balms. to find the total cost. So I'm looking over here at my table. I see that we have items, lotion, candle, lip balm, and then we have cost, $5, $7, and $2. So if they're asking me to figure out how much I'm going to spend for 5 lotions, it's 5 lotions times $5. Okay, so here's for my lotions. Plus, I've got my candles, and I'm going to get 2 candles. So I'm going to do 2 times $7 for the candles. Then I'm also going to buy 4 lip balms at $2 each. So I'm going to spend 4 times $2. Now, whenever I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and piece this out. I'm going to do my 5 times 5, which is 25. I'm going to do my 7 times 2, which is 14. And I'm going to do my 4 times 2, which is 8. And then I'm going to add them all together. Going from left to right, I get $47. All right, now this one you're going to do on your own, so go ahead and pause the video and work on E on your own. When you come back, I'll have the answer. Okay, I really like this problem. It says that Alexis and 3 friends are at the mall, and each person buys a pretzel for $4, sauce for $1, and a drink for $2. It wants you to write the expression for the total and find the total cost. So there's 2 parts to this. Now the expression that I came up with originally was doing 4 people, because it's Alexis and 3 of her friends, so that's 4 people altogether. 4 times the $4 for pretzels, plus 4 times the $1 for the sauce, plus 4 times the $2 for the drink. And I came up with $28 whenever I solved that, because I did my multiplication first for each of these, and then I added it all together. Now another way that you could have written it, which would also be correct, is if you said, okay, there's 4 people, and each of them are paying 4 plus 1 plus 2. And so 4 times, and in parentheses, 4 plus 1 plus 2, and when you add that, you get 7, because we do parentheses first, and then we do 4 times 7. So each person spent $7. In total, it was $28. So either way. All right, and that ends our section 7.4. I hope you come to school prepared with your notes. Have a great day. See ya at school.